So how do you make YouTube videos that actually make you money? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you a live video training that I did where I literally take people through my exact process to where I show them how I set my content up to the point to where that content is actually making money. And I really felt like this would be a very, very valuable training if you're out there trying to sell your product or someone else's product or whatever it is, all right? And so this is the exact same process that I use to generate over 6 figures in sales online, right? So it's definitely been a journey, but I'm not gonna waste too much more of your time. Let's go ahead and get into the training. And one other thing, the training is a little bit dated and I kind of shifted on some of the things that I'm gonna talk about in there as far as like the piece of content that I'm gonna be breaking down. But like I said, super, super valuable stuff. Let's get into the training. All right, so now let me go over to the software. So everything starts with an idea, right? Every single thing. Now, one of the things that I do, because I like to do this effectively, is I go to my YouTube channel and I go and I look at, okay, what are my top videos right now? And then I look at the type of topics that that are getting the most traction on my channel. And then from that point, I say, okay, I'm gonna choose from one of the buckets of the piece of content that I'm gonna go with. So I was sitting here today, I got back from, get my coffee or whatever, and I came back to the house and I was like, okay, so based on these top videos, I realized, okay, I haven't talked about credit in a while, right? So I was like, okay, let's actually create something on credit. So then I thought about the monetization factor in it, right? Now, like I said, nobody wants to just create content for the sake of creating content because you got bills at the end of the day. You got things that you want to do. So every time I go out and I do my keyword research, like I'm going to show you here, I also take into the fact, okay, well, what do I already have that I can monetize from, right? That's so important because not every piece of content is going to be, making money. Obviously you want to have like your link in the description or whatever, but not every piece of content is going to do that. But you want to have content that does that as well, because you don't just want to just keep, putting out valuable content. And yeah, you appreciate and you're grateful for what people say. This was great, so on and so on. But you're doing this not only to build your brand, but you're also doing this to build your business and actually make a profit. Okay, so let's get into the process. So when I was going through through my software and doing the research this morning, I was like, okay, cool. This is what I want to talk about. First, I typed in credit builder loans because I already knew in my mind that I have something that I can make money with, that I've already made money with by creating a video that was targeted specifically to that specific credit builder loan. But then I was like, well, how do I create another piece of content that will still correlate that and then I can still make money from it? Well, in this case, I was like, okay, well, this is the keyword that I'm going with. How do credit builder loans work? All right. So once I found that keyword, I said, okay, I got the tool that I have already that I can make money from. So now all I have to do is just optimize this. Okay, so now you can see inside of my software, this is giving me a A, a D, a C, and an A. So you may not know too much about this software, but one thing I know about this is these grades are based on my channel, my channel data. So if, let's say, for instance, you had this software, you could put your channel, hook your channel up to this software, and it's going to give you different grades. It may either be better or worse, right? So with me looking at these grades, I know that I'm going to rank instantly for this keyword, instantly. And I already know that right off the bat. And the good thing about it is now I can see all this. So I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm good. Now let's stop. The next part of this is, okay, how am I going to put this content together? Because structure is the important part of your content. You can get the best keyword, but if you got the wrong structure, it's not going to work. Okay, so now let's get into what it is that I plan to talk to them about, because they want me, whoever it is that's searching this every month, they want me to deliver on what it is that they're searching for. So now I was like, okay, well, what can I do? Let me check back real quick, make sure everybody can see what it is that I'm doing. So Melissa says, watching from Marathon, New York. Appreciate you, Melissa. Shout out to New York. I'm gonna chime back in now. All right, so now these are the things that I'm gonna talk about, right? Because these actually deliver on what they're searching for. So they want to know, how do credit builder loans work? So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is just the process as a whole. So the lender opens a savings account. That's the first step in the process. And I'm going to be mapping this out for them. Then I'm going to talk about, you're going to start to make payments once that pretty much that will apply to that account. And then we'll get into the lender reports payment to the credit bureaus. This is where I tell them, okay, this is what's happening. And then before I move on to these right here, I want to make sure that I give them even more value that they probably didn't even expect that they were going to get in this video. So I'll go to my Google Doc that I created, because this Google Doc, it actually breaks the credit score game like down, right? So it goes into how much is payment history making up for your credit? How much is your credit utilization making up? The age of the credit and the recent applications for the credit, whether you have more than one type of credit, right? So I give them a full breakdown, which that totally delivers on this right here. Now, that's the first part of this. You got to make sure that when they come on your video, they got to know that they're in the right place. So one of the first things I say is exactly what it is that they're looking for. So as soon as they get to the video, they know they're in the right place. And then now it's time for me to structure my video to give them just completely over deliver, because they're not expecting to get a credit score breakdown in this video. They want to hear more about loans, but the fact that I'm adding that additional piece in there, they're gonna feel like, oh, well, I maybe they didn't know that, right? So that's where you can start to make a person feel more connected to you, because first you delivered on showing them the process, which is this, right? And then now you're showing them the credit score breakdown, which they weren't really looking for, but you gave them an additional added value. And then now I get back into the lender charges interest. So I let them know, okay, they're going to charge you interest between 6% all the way up to 16%, right? Now, you may not necessarily understand what I'm doing, but I'm actually correlating everything that this tool is gonna allow them to do. So it's like I'm talking about this without actually talking about it, the actual product. And so when we get to the end of the video, now I bring them in what they can actually use. Because once I get to this point, I explain the last step. You receive the funds back, right? I let them know you receive the funds back. So it's like they would get the benefit of paying, having that go to their credit, and receiving like something that will be technically like a savings account. And then at the end of me breaking that down, now it's time for me to get into my call to action. Because yes, I delivered on this, but like I said, you don't just want to create content for the sake of creating content. You want to actually create content to where you can make money. So now that I delivered on what they came for, now I'm going to give them a choice, right? So at this point, that's when I would bring this up, bring this into the picture. And I'm still kind of working on how I'm gonna come across and swing this into the video. But that's pretty much the process as far as, the making money side of the game. You always want to start with value up front, because if I just come on this video and I say, oh, okay, well, this is what a credit builder loan is, and then I say, okay, well, this is the tool that I use, that's not going to be effective, because nobody wants to just be sold, right? They want to know, okay, does this person know what they're talking about? They gave me value. They delivered on what it is that I was searching for. And then now they gave me a recommendation. So typically how my recommendation would go is, once I get to this part and I say you receive the funds back, so it'll be a benefit, blase, 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 then I'm going to be like, well, you probably thinking right now, Lord, well, all of this stuff is good, Rakeem, but where do I actually get started with a credit loan, right? And then that's when I would say, well, I got you covered, right? Pay attention. And then I would go into boom, 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 boom. And then I would show them, this reports to all 3 credit bureaus. It's FDIC insured, and so on and so on. And then I would show them, because remember over here, I said they'll get charged interest between 6% to 16%. Well, all I was doing was given the numbers that they had, right? So you can see right here, that's between 6% and 16%, right? So it's a genius strategy, and it's one of the most effective strategies that I've been using to earn income online for the last 4 years now, right? This is consistently how I do it for every product or every tool that I have, because that gives me the ability to continuously make money over and over and over again. And that's what I've been doing. Obviously, in order for you to make money, you're going to have to be found, right? They're going to have to find you. And so that's where, I come in with the ranking of the videos, showing people exactly what they need to do to show up first. Like some of the students that I've already dealt with, a lot of them are ranking their videos. They're making money for what it is that they do. It's specific to their niche or their brand or their product, right? So that's the basic process. Hopefully y'all are getting value. And I know I haven't really been looking at the comments since I really got into it. But this is how it's done.